You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe. Visit them for great food, tasty drinks, and an amazing atmosphere. You can find them at 779 Bank Street and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. Oh my goodness, what a game tonight. I hope you guys can all hear me well. I definitely forgot my converter to bring to work, so the USB is out, and I found a microphone, so I hope I sound good because the Senators certainly didn't look good for 57 minutes. NHLPA mentioning that this is the latest time the Senators have erased a 2-goal deficit in franchise history. This is their 30th year. Let's go. All right, let's take us through how this game went, because if you guys are following along at Sen Central, you know one thing, and that's that I was down bad. Absolutely brutal during the third period. I said they got out coached. I said they didn't have any life. I said I was never more confident a team would not come back from a 2-goal deficit. And then there they go. Drake Batherson first. Alex DeBrincat from the Rockstar zone. The Danny Heatley area shot. It's in the back of the net. Tie game 3-3. And Timmy Süperstar in overtime. And everyone's looking around like, hey, the puck's bobbling. We'll get into how the ice just looked brutal for both teams tonight, really hopping all over the Senators' sticks, especially Tim Stützle. And then you look at the end of the game, goal, 3 assists, all even strength. Was the only plus Corsi player above 50% this game. Really just unreal. I'm not ready to say the Søgaard run just yet, but Matt Søgaard certainly unreal in this game. He made 34 saves, and a lot of them were when this team was down bad. The Senators were outshot 27-11 after 2 periods. It was brutal. It was brutal. Let's see what my first note was, because usually that tells the tale. Good first save. I mean, Søgaard needed to get off to a good start, because I've seen times in the AHL where he looks amazing and then he lets in one and it gets a little shaky. But it was a great first save on a 2-on-1. Dylan Dubé kept it, and he made a great pad save. Then Brady looked like he got shaken up. Did anyone else see that? Did you guys mention that in the chat at all? Like, Brady looked like he took a pretty bad run. And next thing you know, I'm like, is he all right? Let me keep an eye out. Is he out there for his next shift? Bang. It's in the back of the net. Unreal play from Tim Stützle in his own zone. Gets it, spins around, takes it, 2-line pass. It was one of those where Brady was going in so fast, I thought it might have been called back for offside just based on how quickly he got the puck at the blue line. And next thing you know, he's at the hash marks. Deceptive release. We've seen that before from Brady on breakaways, and he makes no mistake, able to put it in the back of the net. 1-0 Ottawa. The Sens 14-7-1 when scoring first before tonight's game. Shots were 5-1 Calgary when Ottawa scored, and then the penalty start. We don't have to bog down this show with referee talk, but it's almost like they felt they needed to be the stars of the show. And I'm not saying it from a biased perspective. I just wish they would have let both teams play a little bit more. There were 7 minor penalties in the first period alone. That's ridiculous. Let's get some flow to this game, and we didn't really see any until the second period. Like, Ottawa goes 0 for 4 on the power play. Only 3 of their penalties were able to be finished. 2 of them one was able to be finished. 3 of them, they took penalties that made 4-on-4, and it was just a bad game from that standpoint. And then, ironically, the best period, the third period, no penalties at all. So enough talking about the refs. We don't like doing that on this show. We like talking about great performances, and it was just I'm kind of like at a loss for words of what kind of performance that was late, because throw the system out of the window. Like, that's not system play at the end of the game. That's instincts. That's, we need to score now. And that's what they did. I mean, Jacob Markstrom probably wants to have that Batherson one back, because the shot went in. He kind of makes the save, but does he really? Can't squeeze the hand down on the pad, and Batherson, Drake on the spot, and puts it in the back of the net. DeBrincat, I think, and don't get me started on the broadcast, but I think they were wanting a goalie interference call on Brady. I didn't see that. I just saw an absolute sicko of a move. And I see a bunch of sickos in the chat here. 150 plus live here after midnight. I appreciate you all for letting me finish my shift at work first before hopping in here. Can't be going live when I'm on the clock. Y'all understand. But Pilsy, cross-continental flight home from Vegas. He'll get you carried on the postcast tomorrow without Leems Martian, but it was too sweet to come. And we'll talk about, at the end of this show, about the New York Islanders tomorrow. We'll have more on tomorrow's Locked On Senators, but that's a game you have to win. Now, you just have to win. By the way, LA Kings up 2-0 at the end of the second period on the Buffalo Sabres. Can't say the same about the Vancouver Canucks, who are losing 5-1 to the Detroit Red Wings. Our old friend Philip Gustafson didn't do us any favors tonight either. He did in regulation. He was solid, but still not very good in the shootout. Florida wins. They score 2 for 2 on the shootout, win the game, get 2 points. But we are cheering for Florida, though, because we don't want to have the Habs get 2 top 5 picks or anything crazy like that. I mean, it's only fun when you get 2 top 5 picks. But what an absolute comeback. And it's a verbal meme. The Undertaker lying down, and then he just pops back up. That was the Senators at the end of this game. Philippe, I need you to add 4 points to Timmy there, because Timmy got 4 tonight. That's not added in there. It's 140 career points now for Tim Stützle in 180 games. 140 points in 180 games. He's 21 years old. My goodness, what a stud. Superstar. Some are saying he had the goggles tonight. He handed them off to Matt Søgaard. That's the easiest bet that you can ever make. He was unbelievable tonight, especially. There are a few saves that I even noted. I want to pull up my notes here. I'm just going to run through my notes real quick. You guys can get like a little open book test on that one. So 1-1. Okay, enough of the makeup calls. That's where I left my notes. Dubé tips one in. Nothing you can do there if you're Matt Søgaard. He actually made a similar save earlier on in the game that I thought was really good. Then second period, great shorthanded glove save by Søgaard, because they started the power play, Calgary did, on the man advantage. Shots 18-5 for Calgary. My next note is another effing penalty. Are you kidding me? Elite shot block from Austin Watson, but right as penalty expired, Toffoli on the left half wall just kind of walks off and pops a wrister. And the broadcast showed that he's done that a ton of times this year, 7 or 8. Same play, like just a little 2 stick handles. It's in the back of the net. Sens get a pair of chances. They missed the net. Brady had a good one. And then the Sens finally get a shot on goal. Sens went almost 18 minutes without a shot on goal in this one. And my goodness, they came fast and furious afterwards, though. Third period, it evened out. I don't know if it was score effects they were up to. Daryl Sutter hockey just tried to shut it down. But the Senators had more shots in the third period than they did in the first and second combined. 12 shots for the Sens in the third. And, of course, 2 of them found the back of the net. As this third period got going, Søgaard looking calm. Great save on a Coleman redirect out front. Then makes a save in point blank on Nazem Kadri. Can't stop them all, though. Dubé redirects another shot in. And then it's Markstrom that gets a pretty solid save there on Drake Batherson, but ultimately Batherson gets last laugh. And the one thing that we got to note here before we get back, Tim Stützle, the overtime winner, how it all went down. Did you guys see the play where Milan Lucic accidentally stepped on Travis Hamonick's hand? I don't know how Hamonick stayed in the game. He looked like it was no worse for wear. That's a big man, heavy man stepping on your hand. And we saw the Senators after the game recalled Jacob Larson, which is kind of weird. They had to have done it earlier because he was in the locker room when the guys came in during the goggle video. So he's already with the team traveling to New York for tomorrow night's game. So very interesting to see Jacob Larson up and already called up before anything happened tonight. So maybe it's as easy as just wanting to bring an extra body for a quick 1-game road trip. I get it. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, an ad for the glove manufacturer there for sure. Hippopotamus. All good. Okay, great question. We'll get some questions in just a minute as well, but I'll start with this one. G-Man writing in, do you run with Mads tomorrow, or do you give Mando the start? I'm going with Mads. I think he's 22 years old. I don't think it's a situation where, he's tired, you got to rest it. You're in a situation right now, you need those 2 points. This is a team that's right ahead of you in the standings, the New York Islanders, and what do we keep saying? Games in hand. Games in hand. Well, the Islanders have played 4 more games than the Ottawa Senators, and I just really want that. I need these 2 points tomorrow. Like, I need air to breathe, because right now the Islanders are 7 points ahead, but with 4 more games played. So I'm going with the goalie who gives me the best chance to win, and tomorrow night that's Mads Søgaard. I'm nervous, and if Pilsy was here, he would probably be preaching patience, because he would remind me about the 2 times that Mads has played in Manitoba where I got to call the games with footy. Mads was unreal in the first game for both of them. Not great in the second one in either. Got pulled in both of those second halves. So I'm wary about that, but I also just trust that he's the goalie that's giving me the best chance to win. And we love Mando, but I don't think he's the kind of guy who's going to be lighting it up tomorrow on the road against the Islanders. It's just not where I would go. And maybe people disagree. That's fine. I'm sure that if we had Pilsy in here, he might give a different perspective, but I'm rolling with Matt Søgaard. He was too good tonight. 34 saves for him. Just hope he gets a good night's sleep after that one. Hey, you can put the goggles on, eh? Use it as, some people, they put like the sleeping mask on. Give them those. Make them wear it to bed tonight, as the Senators are probably in the air right now, traveling to New York, take on the Islanders. Yes, sends fan in van. A little bit of a tongue twister there, my friend. Cute dog, though. Boop. Good guy. The Ottawa Senators blocked a ton of shots, and some of it was just the fact that they never had the puck tonight. I will say, like, when they were getting outshot bad, the block shots were very lopsided. They end up being 28 for Ottawa and only 11 for Calgary. But another number that's extremely jarring from the game summary: how about 17 giveaways for Ottawa, only 3 for Calgary in the game? That's crazy. That's Daryl Sutter hockey, just protecting pucks and not giving a whole lot. But that's a lot of giveaways for the Ottawa Senators. So something that they can watch tomorrow and try to be better at, because frankly, that's not going to win you a ton of games when you have that difference in turnover quality. All right, let me pull up here a little word from our friends at the Glebe Central Pub, and then I'll take some questions. We'll watch. We'll talk about Timmy a little bit more, because my goodness, this kid is a real life superstar. We've had a lot of bad takes on this show, a lot of them. Calling Timmy a superstar the day before he was drafted, that's a good one. I'll drink to that. And when I like to go for a drink, I go to the Glebe Central Pub, the official sponsor of the Locked On Senators Postcast. We love our friends at the Glebe Central Pub so much that we're making the trek to go see them ourselves. I'm flying into Ottawa on Thursday, and I'll be at the Glebe Central Pub on Friday. Come see us 3 p.m. We want you to be there early. Be there around 3 p.m. We're going to do the live show at 4 o'clock, and then at 5, buses leaves. Tickets are still available. We're gonna pack 2 full buses is pretty much where we're at right now. It's gonna be an absolute time. Get your tickets online at theglebecentralpub.com. You can pull it up right there. Super easy to navigate. Glebecentralpub.com. Tickets for February 17th. The ticket does not include into the game. I think that goes without saying. $15 gets you a ticket to the live show and to and from to the Glebe Central Pub. We're gonna have a party there and even a postcast there live after the game. I absolutely cannot wait to share my love for the Glebe Central Pub with you. We're going to have a few drinks together, whether it's chocolate milk. I know my boy Kevin's in here drinking his chocolate milk. We love that. We love the wings. I'm going to be crushing wings before the game, and it's all at the Glebe Central Pub, 779 Bank Street. Make sure you let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. I see some F Leafs in the chat. I love that. Go Sens, go. That's what our friends at the Glebe Central Pub would say, and that's what I'm telling you as well. Tell them that Locked On Senators sent you when you go to the Glebe Central Pub. All right, deep breath. Ross Levitan here with you after a 4-3 Ottawa Senators win. And something I've been so hard on the Senators about this year is when they go on one of these mini runs, like the 4-game heater that they'd been on right before the All-Star and bye-week break, it feels like the letdown is always more than one game. They don't just bounce back right away. So tonight, yeah, there's a lot we can nitpick about how bad the system was at times and how they just really looked like they were getting dominated. Timmy said that in his post-game interview. He goes, Sögaard had us there because we were getting absolutely caved in against the Calgary Flames. So credit to Timmy for being there when it counts most, and with a goal and 3 assists, all at even strength. Wasn't there a guy on Twitter, a Leaf fan, who's talking about how Pierre Engvall has more even strength points? He had some wild, we're not math guys, we had some wild calculation that showed that their third liner was better than Timmy Süperstar. Well, Tim Stützle had more even strength points tonight than Pierre Engvall had in his last 16 games. I quote tweeted that guy, and then I realized how stupid it was to even engage in that conversation, so I just deleted it right now. All right. So let's get some questions, because we know this is a fun one. I appreciate everyone for waiting up I really do. I can't tell you guys enough. How good was Meth today, by the way? I threw him into the co-host. I texted him at like 9:30 this morning. I was like, hey, Pilsy's flight got delayed. Do you mind jumping on the pod? And he's like, yeah, man, I'll be home in an hour. Let's go. And he was unreal. So that was awesome. Hey, shoot Meth a message. Like, just tag him on Twitter. Just be like, yo, I love you on Locked On Sens. Because the fact that he joins us, we've been on here for 734 episodes. The fact that we have a beloved and awesome Ottawa Senator to come give us that insight, you guys and us, like, we learn every time he comes on the show. It's awesome. We don't take that for granted at all. It's super sick that he's kind of, come to us. We had a lot of people when Wham ended and Mathot came on, and everyone's like, oh, it was just in conversation. He's not actually going to go on there all the time. So it was kind of good to put a smile on that as well, and just say, oh, yeah, well, maybe. How about that? This was his 9th appearance on Locked On Senators today. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I know it was posted a bit later, so if you need to catch up on that tomorrow, definitely worth the listen. Got me so fired up where he's like, yeah, Carl would love to play for the Sens again. Oh, yeah? Awesome. But hey, let's get back to this game tonight. So the Senators get outshot 37-25. They don't score on the power play. All even strength goals, which I think is super impressive, and you need that at times. 37 hits, 28 block shots. That's a sign to me that they didn't have the puck a whole lot in this game. And the numbers would reflect that. The high danger scoring chances clearly favoring the Calgary Flames. Not clearly, 10-7. Like, not a huge difference, but the Senators certainly did most of their damage with the goalie pulled. As I mentioned, and I'm going to get the exact timing, but this was, according to NHL PR, the Senators' latest 2-goal comeback in franchise history. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. The Ottawa Senators are down 3-1. It was 3-1. And then it wasn't. Drake Batherson's goal was assisted by Tim Stützle and Shane Pinto. And then it was less than a minute later that Alex DeBrincat from, you guessed it, Tim Stützle and Eric Brandstrom. So not only did Tim Stützle have 4 points, they were all primary points. 3 primary assists and the overtime game winner. Like, are you kidding me with this guy? And in overtime, too, I mentioned to @Senators, I said, oh, man, sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time. Usually I can just snap it over to Pilsy, and then I read the comments. When I'm just teeing it up, it's a little bit harder for me to keep an eye on the comments. But how about Alex DeBrincat playing cat and mouse? DeBrincat and mouse, may I? In his own zone, and Jacob Pelletier or whoever was on the ice there for Daryl Sutter just couldn't get puck from him. He gives it to Timmy, and it's a race with a great defensive defenseman. Great defensive defenseman. And that's Mackenzie Weegar, a guy who I would have loved to have had on the Ottawa Senators. Guess what? Couldn't keep up with Timmy. And then he kind of makes marks from stretch out. He can't finish it off. Just unreal finish. I like 3 forwards in overtime. Hot Lunch asking. No Parker Kelly, though, for you in this one. But no, in all seriousness, I do really like it. What was Shabbat's ice time tonight? He was my locked on player going to this game. Yeah, he played a ton. I mean, there's no surprise there with how things were going with no Jake Sanderson in the lineup. 27 minutes and 39 seconds for Thomas Chabot in this game. Almost 4 minutes of it on the power play. 9 seconds, which, I mean, is probably just the end of a penalty kill there, shorthanded. But all in all, I thought this was a pretty bad effort by the Ottawa Senators during, 57 minutes? They score first, but even when they scored first, they're getting outshot 5-1. But you know what? Good teams find ways to win. And I'm not ready to give them that label just yet. But that's a gutsy win. Dare I say pesky win for this Ottawa Senators team? I'm going to say pesky. This was a pesky Ottawa Senators win. And I'm hopeful that it carries into tomorrow, because could you imagine the vibes if the Ottawa Senators come home for Chris Neil retirement night, having won 6 of their last 7? They have a long way to go. They beat the Islanders a couple weeks ago, but now they have Bo Horvat, a little different. Will it be Ilya Sorokin in net? A little different than Semyon Varlamov. But I do think it's worth mentioning that we could have an all-time vibes game on Friday against the Chicago Blackhawks with boots on the ground. Locked On Senators. Steve G is asking about Brandstrom. Did Brandy get another assist tonight? Oh, he did. Oh, Brandy. How about Brandy being up at 19 minutes tonight? And that goal, you could tell the confidence right away. Right when that goal went in. He almost scored again in the third period in the Edmonton game. He had the best opportunity that the Sens had. He's got 5 points on the season, but 3 of them are in the last 5 games. He's +5 in his last 5 games. Super impressive for him as the Ottawa Senators are finally starting to string some wins together. Can they keep it up? Oh my God, we're going to find out sooner rather than later. Hey, I appreciate you, Leo, for mentioning that, tagging Mathot there on Twitter, letting him know that it's great. We appreciate having him on the Locked On Senators podcast. You guys have any questions? I got a few minutes, but I do have to run. I got to get some flowers home to the lady. A little Valentine's Day action, but it's going to be fun, man. I think tomorrow's game is okay. I'm not going to say it. How many times do we say must win, can't lose, must win, can't lose, must win, can't lose? But I do think that tomorrow's game, if they win, I might get fully delusional again. I'm on such a teeter-totter with this team. with this team. It's awesome to see. All right. If you have any questions, dude, that Erik Karlsson moment today on the show of him having Martian's tweets, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So we'll see where this goes. But right now, I think we just have to enjoy that this was an awesome win for the Ottawa Senators. Brady Tkachuk, his 21st goal of the season. Like, this guy is going to score more than 30, right? Right? He hit 30 last year in game 82. I think he gets to 35. I don't even think that's a hot take. Is that a hot take? 35 goals for Brady Tkachuk this year? How about 36, just to one-up Josh Norris from last year? Tim Stützle, I mean, he's almost at a career high in points, right? How far does he have to go? This is updated. Tim Stützle's 5 points away from matching last year's total. 5 points away. How many points does Timmy end up with? Timmy's got 53 points in 48 games. Like, is 90 out of the question? Is 90 points out of the question? Sens fan and Van, appreciate you adding a couple coins into the guitar case, as we like to say on the postcast. Thoughts on Søgaard going Darth Vader style? Gerber didn't work, but Søgaard's so efficient, so intimidating. You know what? This was classic us being ideas guys this summer, and Mads sounded open to letting us like at least put the tiniest bit of detail onto his mask, and then we just completely forgot or didn't like think of anything good enough. Next year we gotta get on Mads' helmet, especially. I mean, if he keeps playing like this, that might be an NHL goaltending mask. So we got to help design that. That would be the ultimate for a goalie friendly show. Tonight, by the way, was the first time that our hashtag goalie friendly show had both Sens goalies as recurring guests. I love that. That's something that if you had told me when we were on episode 100, even episode 200, I would have said, you are absolutely nuts. Nobody gives a crap who we are. Maybe Joey Dax back in the day, but hey, Lord Doink, like in the Super Bowl last night. Søgaard doesn't need to look 2 inches taller. This guy's 6'7" off skates. He's massive. The only thing about his game that's stopping him from being a really solid NHL goalie is consistency, and that's going to come with time. It's going to come with time. It really will. I'm very confident in that. I just think that he needs to find rhythm, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, let's go. Let's get him back in goal tomorrow. I want your opinions, though, whether or not Matt Søgaard or Kevin Mandolese should play in goal for the Senators tomorrow. I better do a Sens Central standout then, eh? Is it too easy for me to do Tim Stützle? Are you kidding me? Let's go. And Steve, I appreciate that. Flowers on Steve. I really appreciate that. Everyone, you better be treating your significant other, man, woman, anybody. I need you guys treating them well for Valentine's Day. You know why? Because I know you're going to be in the postcast after the game, you sickos. I know you are. Let's go. I'm not playing tomorrow. No chance. But I'll certainly let them go. Hot lunch. Is LSP killing Yeah, we've been first every single week, like not total, but each week for going on 3 years. So yeah, we're doing all right, at least in comparison. We can always do better. That's the goal. But yeah, last week the Sens didn't play, and between audio and video, we had over 20,000 downloads. Which is pretty sick though. We really do appreciate it, and like that's why I think we are so successful, is that it's our show. Like everyone, it's our show. It's not my show. It's not Pilsy's show. We're for the fans, by the fans, and that's kind of the way we've been able to gain the community. It's not a following. It's not a viewer. It's the community. Like I can't wait to have some pints and hang out with everybody next week in Ottawa. It's true. It's more than just jumping on here and saying, hey, he shoots, he scores. So we want to build a positive environment. And look at this. The game ended literally 3 hours ago, and there's 160 people just shooting the breeze here past midnight. So on a Monday night, everyone should get on Martian too for just being like, nah, I can't come on. Club Bell lifestyle for this guy. He probably rode a limo to and from the game. If I ain't sure. No, but it's all awesome. We really appreciate we really appreciate everything. We aren't going to record the live show, I don't think, unless we find a way. Then we might, but I don't think that we should. I don't think that we should. Sorry, that's too funny. I love when people get so fired up about weird things in the comments. You guys can all see for yourself what we're talking about here, but no, all good. We're just having a laugh after a Sens win. And hey, bottom line is, if they win tomorrow, tune in on Wednesday's Locked On Senators. By the way, next week Jamie McLennan will be joining the show. About time. No, Martian did not leave. Oh, you guys want to hear me talk about Sportsnet? You know I'm a TSN guy. You know they took me out of school and allowed me to jump in the spaceship that is TSN, but that was so bad. Like you think I'm scared of Rogers? Look at all the guests on our show. They're always TSN. Shout out Kyle Bukauskas. He's awesome. I like him at Sportsnet. But beyond that, look at all our guests. Dave Poulin, Claire Hanna, Jamie McLennan. We still have to get James Duthie. It's crazy that we haven't had James Duthie on the phone, but Sportsnet was brutal. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about them saying that Kevin Mandolese was a goddamn emergency backup goalie? You know how disrespectful that is? And then to have the gall to pull up that graphic at the start of the third period? They had Kevin Mandolese. So disrespectful. There's some that are TSN, right? And some are Sportsnet normally. So that was legitimately, Kelly Rudy is legitimately the color analyst for Flames regional games. It was just bad. Like, this is the National Hockey League, the national broadcasters. It's just like, come on. Like, at least, like, I don't know if I want Gary Galley, actually. I'll just plead the fifth. But it's days like that where I almost want to like try to find a way that we could do like a follow along stream or anything. Maybe one day down the road. Okay. I'll leave it with this because I should run as well, and I do really appreciate everyone for staying on and shooting the breeze. But Pilsy and I, my bachelor party, we're going down to an all inclusive in Mexico. If we're there when the Senators get sold, I promise you the most elite commentary that you will ever hear. We will make the most of it. We're there for the trade deadline as well. We're going to do a live show on the beach for the hour leading up to the deadline. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. And Pilsy's got these like wild Hawaiian Sens Sens shirts picked out. So stay tuned for all that and more. But Pilsy's going to be back tomorrow. He lands at like 1 a.m., 1:30, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have some vibes for you. Maybe a couple guests here to end off this week. Friday's show, Pilsy and I are going to be recording. I don't know if you guys remember at the start of the season where we had our two chairs together when we were in Ottawa. So we'll be back for that this Friday. in Ottawa. Cassie Campbell, by the way, last mention on Sportsnet, she's legitimately married to the Flames assistant GM. So, I mean, you know where allegiances is, and that's fine, but it's just weird on a national broadcast. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. What is here and there is Tim Stützle being an absolute stud. Superstar shit tonight for Tim Stützle. A goal, 3 primary assists. Brady Tkachuk, captain shit. He scores the opening goal, and the Senators win 4-3 in overtime, and now they've got the second leg of a back-to-back tomorrow against the New York Islanders. We're going to have some fun with everybody tomorrow. Can't thank everyone enough, and if you missed today's show with Mark Mathot, would highly recommend going to check that out. Go Sens, go, man. I'll give you another standout. My standouts are Tim Stützle, Matt Søgaard, and I'll hammer Brady Tkachuk in there as well. Unreal. Appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, drop a like, let us know, and also follow Glebe Central Pub. That would mean a lot to us as well. Really appreciate you guys for waiting up for us. Tomorrow we'll be back to the normal time, about 10 minutes after the Ottawa Senators finish up in, what's pesky Sens in Spanish? Frederick, I will have the answer to you in Mexico when we're there. I will. 100%. Get some Go Sens Goes in the chat. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for listening to the Locked On Senators Postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub and the Locked On Senators Podcast. Have a great night, everyone. We'll chat tomorrow on the Locked On Senators Podcast presented by the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.